howdy do. Welcome to Lucky Rock Wine Lounge. I am Jesse Inman.
And I'm Aaron Newman, I think, most of this episode. So we had an episode, many light years ago, about sweetness levels in wine. More stylistically, dry wines, bone dry wines versus semi-sweet and sweet wines. Today we're going to talk more about kind of dry wines, which most people associate with, like, in America, in the United States, whatever you call it, US of A, most wines are considered to be dry.
Which means USDA, 2 grams of sugar per liter or less. So in the winemaking world, it's pretty much no sugar.
Yeah, perceptible sweetness usually comes in around 2 grams.
So people in America, we have been taught to love sweetness, sugar. There's sugar in everything. And so wine styles are typically more in line with that palate. The higher alcohol has more sweetness to them just with the glycerol alcohols. The higher alcohol you get, the more stuck fermentations you have. So you mean there's leftover sugar anyway. And people that are making inexpensive wines, the wines usually are maybe a little bit subpar due to the price, and so they'll leave or add sugar back in to make the wine taste less shit.
Yeah, a lot of times where you're growing like the lower quality wines, I think it was actually Wine Folly who has great information on this kind of stuff. You can check out their website. Talks a lot about, like, if you don't want residual sugar in your wine, maybe stay away from the cheaper wines. And so it's like where it kind of gets a little deceptive is a lot of times the general consumer in America thinks that most, like, say red wines like Pinot Noir, like we're going to try today, is dry. But then the wine industry sometimes in those, not just the lower price points, all price points, does play up to that palate a little bit. So today we picked 4 of the top performing wines on Drizzly, which Drizzly really got popular.
Home delivery service for alcohol.
Yeah, basically like the Uber of booze in a lot of ways. And so we picked 4 of the most popular wines, all Pinot Noir, on that list, and we decided to test them for residual sugar. So we did that. We also tested them for pH just to kind of see if they were trying to offset acidity or something like that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try those 4 wines blind. We don't know what they are. They've been poured into small bottles with numbers on them. So we're going to taste those on camera with you. And then we've got the analysis.
We'll put it on screen
in a key. And we'll figure out how to disseminate that information. And we just really want to see, are these 4 wines that are really sold as dry wines, do they taste dry? Kind of what's the sensory of them, and then chemically, what do they look like from a residual sugar standpoint? We've come to that favorite part of the episode. We've all been waiting for it. Please like and subscribe.
Wine numero uno.
Wine numero 1. Okay, so these are all Pinot Noir. Remember, these were all top performing Pinot Noirs on Drizzly. Looks like Pinot. So it tastes like Pinot, but it's got a little bit of like a
fake wood,
kind of a fake wood, and a little bit of like a red vine kind of fake fruity finish to it, which is kind of interesting.
And some bitterness on the palate, which is, it's probably got a little bit of sugar in it because there's some bitterness there. And it's got some sweetness, but the sweetness wasn't enough to cover up the bitterness.
Maybe this wine was grown in an area where it didn't get fully ripe, and maybe it had a little harsher tannin from, like, kind of squeezing the out of that grape.
Yeah.
And
it's got some, I think, American oak chips.
Yeah, so it's definitely on the side that needed some sugar to try to give it a little bit of
Front
something.
Palate. Yeah, because sugar can also bring things forward in the mouth because your sweet sensors are more up front. So if you have, like, maybe a really light, watery wine, it'll bring the flavor forward. Even though it's not really flavor, it's just sweetness. It's a sensation.
Yeah,
but
it can get a little tricky.
It's a hack.
But let's say, I'm going to say that wine is, it's got residual sugar above 2 for sure. It's not crazy high. So if I had to throw a number out there, I'm going to say that this is probably somewhere around like 5 grams.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 or 5.
4 or 5 grams per liter on the residual sugar. So they're trying to compensate for some things that maybe the wine was lacking, but didn't go like overboard.
Yeah. So we were just discussing which wines these are. I didn't know until just now, but we have Josh, we have Decoy, we had Meiomi,
and Barefoot.
And so it's kind of, they're all, I think Decoy is probably the most expensive.
Yeah, the Meiomi, this range is probably anywhere from, like, Barefoot's fairly cheap to, like, in the, like, maybe $5.99 to $6.99 range, up to where I think Meiomi probably tops out at like 25 and Decoy around 25. Yeah. So that's kind of the spectrum. we were talking about, this wine tastes probably like it's more like the Josh. It's kind of like seen as like affordable higher end. It's like sometimes it depends on where you're at in the country what it's gonna retail for. I think it retails probably between like 15 and 20 depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
And I think that wine based off the profile, that's what I'm guessing it's the Josh. But we're gonna find out and we'll tell you. And we'll either look dumb or not dumb.
So we have wine number 2.
Wine number 2, Les Douces.
So the 1, 2, and 3 all had pretty similar colors just from the bottles. It's pretty. Naomi's pretty easy to guess. I'm pretty sure it's number 4. It's like barely Pinot.
Yeah, they blend some other stuff in there for sure. This tastes like they're not hiding as much.
Decoy.
If I had to guess, this is more like the Decoy. I think it's.
What is the appellation Decoy? Is it California?
It's a good question. It might be California at this point. That brand's really grown. It used to be Sonoma County, and then I believe it was North Coast, and now I'm pretty sure it's California, but I could be wrong. But
yeah.
I think that
this one I would say has more like 2 grams.
Yeah, like 2 to 3
grams of sugar.
Yeah, they're not hiding a lot here. I think that's just maybe just a hint of sweetness on it, but it tends to it has those like cherry, earthy aromas that you expect from Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
It's lighter bodied. It's not like getting that viscosity
and there's the bitterness isn't there needing to be hidden.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a front palate. So
it doesn't seem like it was like
I think we're in accordance.
overly extracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would think that this was the Decoy, and it's a decent wine.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Okay. Wine number 3.
The French language is so romantic.
especially when I make it sound German, I guess.
All right, so we've got, this one doesn't have a heck of a lot of a nose to it.
Pretty thin.
Pretty thin, kind of watery, a little sweet, a little tobacco-y, really. Like tastes like kind of like.
It does taste like
pretty,
tobacco.
It's like I've never been a big chewer, but I did grow up in a small town, so I know what chew is.
You can get that from like Russian River sometimes. You can get some tobacco or Carneros.
It kind of has that like cherry pit kind of thing going on. This is interesting to me because
it's pretty watery though.
It's pretty darn lean, and they're trying to give it some body with the sugar, I think. I don't know, man.
That's a toughie.
That's a toughie because it's not.
It's definitely the worst of the 3.
I'm expecting Barefoot to just be very gross.
Yeah.
And this isn't very gross. It's like just not good.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really throwing me off here. I'm gonna say it's the Barefoot.
I think so too.
And if it's Barefoot,
good job, Barefoot.
Good job, Barefoot.
It's less than I thought it was gonna be.
This is not total donkey trash, but it is not tasty.
Yeah. It's wine-ish.
All right, final answer. Barefoot. Wine number 4.
Okay, this is basically looks like Cabernet Sauvignon, so I assume it's Meiomi.
It's got some color, or hefty extraction, as they call it in the business.
For the Pinot for the cab drinker.
I mean, it's got a nice nose, but it doesn't necessarily smell like Pinot.
No.
Very dark and kind of root beery.
It's root beer. It's a lot of American oak. It's a lot of extraction. It's dark as hell.
Ooh, it's incredibly sweet.
How are these guys making 1 million cases?
And this is
it tastes like Coca-Cola.
It tastes like somebody has put Coca-Cola in this wine. Or, like, you know those orange creamsicles you used to get as a kid? Like somebody melted one and put it into this wine.
Dude.
It's too much for me.
How do they make so much of this stuff?
My body is liking it though because my taste receptors are like, ooh, it's very sweet. And
survival instincts kicking in.
Yeah.
100% definitely Meiomi, and it's got, I'm guessing, 10 grams of sugar, 8 grams of sugar.
It is on the high
12
side.
grams of sugar?
I mean, yeah, 12 to 15 grams of sugar.
Wow.
You know, if I go grab this from the Pinot Noir section at the grocery store and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get a nice dry wine on Friday night, and I drink this, I'm like, holy heck. And I don't say holy heck.
Holy heck.
Let me tell you. And so this is darn sweet, man.
Darn tootin' sweet, for sure. Yeah, and as a winemaker, I'm insulted. But as a consumer in America, I guess I get it.
All right, Meiomi, final answer. Sorry, Meiomi.
100%.
But
Meiomi.
you did it, I think.
All right, number 1 was Barefoot Pinot Noir.
Whoa. All right, so we got smoked on that
We
one.
got smoked.
Because we said it was Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we thought was the next one up from Barefoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
What's
Fair
the next
enough.
one?
Number 2 is Decoy Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Number 2
So
is
we nailed that
Decoy.
one, right?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Fair enough.
we thought it. Yes.
Number 3 is Josh Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
all right.
F- you, Josh.
Yeah. So we flip-flop Josh and Barefoot.
Yeah. Good job, Barefoot. That makes Barefoot even better, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we thought that those wines were on the lower side,
Yeah.
but we still, I thought that the least expensive is Barefoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty cheap wine.
Inexpensive, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, bang for the buck, I'd say.
Bang for the buck for
Yeah.
sure on that one.
Um,
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
And
man.
so then 4 is Meiomi, and that was distinctly Meiomi.
And so number 4 was Meiomi. We all knew that.
I knew it from the color alone.
Yeah. Oof. So the Barefoot was wine 1. That's got 3.67 pH and a residual of 6.9. So reasonable. I mean, fair amount of residual, but reasonable.
The pH isn't. It's covering up flaws,
Yeah.
not pH.
Flaws in viscosity.
Yeah.
But that we were in that range. I think we said it was around 5 grams. Wine number 2, which was Decoy, 1.8 grams.
Yep, pretty dry.
3.7. So basically, we got that one right.
3.7 is the pH.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, right on par. That's a
And that was
quality
clearly the best wine. Then we've got wine 3, which was Josh, which that one is 3.8 and 1.6 grams per liter. So,
wine. That's why when we were tasting it Barefoot, I thought it would be sweeter.
and then Meiomi, wine number 4, 3.68 on the pH and 20 grams per liter.
I just wouldn't imagine that they ever go that high. Like I was like, that's so sweet. I was like, but no, it can't be over 12.
20.
20.
All right, folks. So let's recap this. Wine number 1 was Barefoot. A little bit sweet,
Yeah.
but not too much.
But impressive for the price.
Decent for the price. Wine number 2, Decoy. Thought it was the most high-end wine. Not a lot of residual sugar. Not hiding a lot of flaws there. Wine number 3, not hiding any flaws really from a sugar standpoint. Just maybe a little bit,
It was a weak wine.
just kind of a weaker wine. And then
Barefoot's better than you, man.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna just put it out there. The Barefoot, I mean, price to quality ratio was pretty darn good.
I wouldn't say it's knocking it out of the park, but it's.
I mean, I'm not pouring myself a liter of Barefoot tonight, but but you know, hey, it's not terrible. And then wine number 4 was the Meiomi, and we know that tends to be a fairly sweet wine, but we were shocked at 20 grams per liter residual sugar.
I mean, we're talking the amount of concentrate that they're adding to that wine. It's like, because they're producing 1 million cases of it. It's like glub, 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 glub. Glub, glub.
All right, folks. So we learned a lot today. Deceptively learned a lot.
Yeah, I don't even know what I learned. I like it.
Felt like I didn't learn, but I know I did.
What did we learn?
Deceptively. All right. So we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.